Hey everyone, I'm David. I'm the Wake and Snow Program Manager here at JSAW, and I'm stoked to be with you here today as we're going through our Philippians series. I'm out here this morning filling up ballast in the boat, but whether you're out on the boat wakeboarding and wake surfing this summer or at the park skating, one thing we all understand is style. You fall, you get up, you practice, you get better, you're always focused on your trick. But are the tricks really that sick if you can't do it with style? Today we're looking at a passage from Philippians 3, 1 through 14, where Paul gives us a message that sounds a lot like the mindset of an action sports athlete learning tricks. So let's go through this. In this passage, Paul is writing to believers in Philippi and tells them to rejoice in the Lord and warns them against those who put confidence in religious rituals or the flesh. At the time, the Philippians were being told that following religious rituals and rules would lead them to salvation. Now, Paul explains that if anyone had reason to boast in those things, it would be him, listing his impressive Jewish credentials and how he used to put his confidence in outward achievements, things that looked impressive to others. But Paul considers all of that a loss compared to the surpassing worth of knowing Christ. After encountering Jesus, he realized those things were worthless compared to, truly knowing Christ and living by faith. It can be like this in action sports. You can land a trick perfectly by the book, like a clean rotation, perfect spot on the wake, proper foot placement on your board. You can have a huge bag of tricks, but if you land stiff and awkward, without any style, sure, it might technically count, but if it lacks the soul of the sport, does it really count? That's like putting your confidence in religious works or rituals. You're following the steps, but you're missing the deeper meaning. On the other hand, landing a trick with style, landing with flow and creativity, with the heart of the sport, that reflects something deeper. You're not just ticking the boxes, you're riding with freedom, with expression, with authenticity. We've all seen someone that rides maybe, maybe they don't have all the tricks, but when you're watching them, they really give you that feeling of like, ooh, man, that person rips. They're really out there riding with style. That's like having faith in Jesus. You're not relying on the trick to prove your worth. You're just out there riding with style. That's the deeper connection of Christ. Paul says he used to care about looking perfect. He even persecuted Christians in the name of religion. But now he's focused on pressing forward towards something far greater. Truly knowing Jesus and becoming more like him. In action sports terms, he's not just trying to learn every trick, win every contest, or impress others. He's chasing a lifelong journey of riding with style, living like the person he was made to be. Paul says, I press on toward the goal to win the prize. He's not talking about landing tricks or living life trying to impress others. He's talking about knowing Jesus fully, with style, living with him now and spending eternity with him forever. If Paul was writing this letter to us today, if we were the Philippians, that could look a lot like going to church on Sundays, saying rehearsed prayers every night, maybe even wearing a cross necklace, or having a Bible verse on your Instagram profile to give the appearance of Christianity. But if you don't actually have that relationship, it's just the same as following rituals and rules. This week here, guys, I want you to actually take time to reflect and pray. Make sure you actually have a relationship with Jesus. Don't rely on the outward appearance to give the impression. Really take that in. I want you guys to have a great week, and we'll see you out on the water.